It's a cold, dark night. A man named Jean Valjean walks the streets. He had just been released from 19 years of serving a prison sentence for stealing. He's hungry, homeless, and bitter. He knocks on the door of a humble bishop who welcomes him inside without a second. The bishop offers him food, warmth, and a bed. That night, while everyone sleeps, Jean Valjean, driven by his old habits, steals the bishop's very expensive and very dear silver candlestick and flees into the night. The next morning, the police catch him and bring him back to the bishop's doorstep, ready to lock him up again. The bishop walks out, understands what happened, and then says, "Ah, Jean, you forgot the other 2 candlesticks. I gave them to you last night. Here, take them with you." He goes inside, grabs the other 2 candlesticks, and hands it over to Jean Valjean with a smile. Hey guys, and welcome to the channel of The Curious Maverick. I first read this story, titled The Bishop's Candlesticks, back when I was 15. Of the hundreds of hours that I spent in my English class listening to story after story, this was the only one that I still remember. It just stuck with me since then. But why though? Why did this one story stick with me and none of the hundreds of others? Because this story changed me as a person. It showed me what unexpected kindness can do to someone's life. That's the power of a great story. You're not just reading it and you're not just watching it on the screen. You're in it. You're part of the story. You see yourself in the characters. And so in this video, we'll talk about just that. What does it take to create a great story? Recently, I read the book, The Anatomy of Story, 22 Steps to Becoming a Master Storyteller. It's written by John Truby, who himself is a master storyteller. He is an American director, screenwriter, teacher, and author. He has been a consultant on the scripts of over 1,000 movies. So in this book, Truby talks about what does it take to tell a great story. And he doesn't rely on formulas and cliches. Rather, he talks about the anatomy of it. What are the basic building blocks of a narrative that breathe life into a story? So today, let's talk about the 5 key steps in Truby's framework that can help you craft a great story. Step 1, the premise. Everything begins with the premise. The premise is your story's foundation. It is the seed from which everything else grows. It's the core idea that gives life to your story. But a great premise doesn't just introduce a world or a character, it poses a problem. It poses a problem, a question that will drive the entire story. For example, in the bishop's candlesticks, the premise is, what happens when a man whose spirit is destroyed by the world is shown unexpected kindness? Step 2, the character's desire. Every great story begins with the hero having this deep, desperate, burning desire to want something. This is what pushes the story forward, this desire to get what they want. In the case of the bishop's candlesticks, Jean Valjean's desire was just survival at any cost. He's desperate. That's what pushes him to steal. But the interesting thing is, the hero's desire changes with the story sometimes. In the case of Jean Valjean, his initial desire was to just survive at any cost. And eventually, that transforms into a desire for redemption, which is what the bishop gives him. Step 3, the conflict. Now, no story is complete without some level of conflict. And Truby says that it's not just physical battles and fights that count as conflicts. It's also the conflicts you have inside your head, the choices that you're pushed to make every single day. Conflict specifically occurs when what a character wants clashes with what a character needs. In Jean Valjean's case, the conflict is between his desire to survive at any cost and the bishop's kindness, which is unexpected in his case, which challenges him to become a better person. Step 4, the moral argument. A great story always raises a deeper question beyond just what you see on the screen. Question about human life, human nature. In the bishop's candlesticks, we're all left with the moral question of, can a small act of kindness change a man's fate? The bishop's choice to forgive Valjean instead of punishing him makes all of us think about what can forgiveness and kindness do to a person. Step 5, character change. Finally, a great story always results in a character arc, a transformation in the character that you've been watching on screen for the last 2 hours into a person that they were and the person that they've become right now. This transformation results from all of the conflicts they face and the choices they make as a result of those conflicts along the way. Jean Valjean's journey from a hungry, homeless, and bitter man to someone who seeks redemption is the ultimate character arc. This story works because we see him change. Maybe not immediately, but with time. So, back to the original question. What makes a great story great? As you see, it's more than just plot twists and drama. It's much more about creating a hero's journey that makes you ask the deeper questions of life. It's about how desire, conflict, and moral choices lead to character transformation. At its core, storytelling is about change, both for the character you see on the screen and for yourself. One of my favorite talks on storytelling was delivered by Andrew Stanton. He's the guy behind some of the most famous Pixar movies that you've seen. Finding Nemo, Toy Story, WALL-E, you name it, he's made it. He says so beautifully that every great story has this one thing in it. So there you go, wonder. I hope if you watched till here, I've been able to evoke some wonder in you. You've been following my content for a long time. Thank you so much. You're amazing. And before you go, if you'd like to sneak behind the curtain of what it takes to write a novel, grow a company, or just live in a foreign country, check out curiousmaverick.com. And hey, subscribe to this channel because from now you'll hear from me every week.